making more baskets than them. No, I'm just messing. um, just being tough. I think the tough team wins in those type of battles with any kind of Bruce Pearl team that you're going to face. You know it's going to be about physicality and toughness and defense. So you have to outlast them at the physicality game. You got to just play as hard as you can, and you got to make timely plays. You got to make winning plays the entire game because they're relentless. They're going to keep coming at you.
Speaking of physicality, as one player that can't get in foul trouble, it depends on how the refs call it. They'll let the play with tight. How do you keep Mr. Williams focused and not?
I think since the Seton Hall game, he's kind of learned his lesson on, how to handle things. He knows that guys are going to come at him, teams are going to come at him. They feel like if they get him out of the game, that they have a better chance to beat us. And it's been proven that has happened to us in the past. So DeAndre understands going into this game, it's going to be a big game, but don't let your emotions take you out of the game.
Is Auburn and Coach Pearl, it sounds when we talk about them almost exactly what we talk about Houston and Coach Sampson. Are there other similarities between the two, like really, really close, or is it more just like broad?
I think it's more broad. I think Houston is his own animal within itself. And then, Auburn, their culture is just to go out there and attack on both ends of the floor. They've been known for that for years. So they're both aggressive. Houston's Houston's another level of aggression because of how they attack the offensive glass and how they play. But Auburn is definitely one of the top teams in the country with physicality.
How do you counteract their size? It's like they got four guys that are like 6'9", 230 plus.
Yeah, you just go out there and you fight. It's still basketball, and we're not afraid to play anybody, and that's why we have this schedule, and we played these games to see where we are. So you combat their height and size with speed and aggressiveness.
Kenny, obviously I wasn't here last year, but it seems like when the spotlight got brighter last year is when the team kind of split up even more. Now the spotlight's getting brighter this year with huge games coming up. Where's the team at in terms of continuity with the ESPN games, national attention on the program now?
Yeah, usually those games have been games that we've looked forward to as coaches, but as players, has been more looking forward to it as individuals. And I think this team definitely looks at it as this will be a big win for our team, and not I'm trying to go get a certain amount of points or be the guy on that night. The focus is totally different on this team.
Penny, one thing about this team that's different from other teams is you're taking care of the ball more, you're making free throws more, and you always in every game.
Mhm.
What makes this team so much better that they're doing that?
I think what makes this team better than previous teams is they're following the game plan. Once we set the game plan, these guys are really going out and trying to stay within that box that we want them to stay in. Obviously, you're going to have your own creativity offensively through our offense, but defensively, we have to stay very strong and believe in what we're doing defensively. And they believe, first of all, and then they go out and then they do it.
Now that we're almost a third of the way through the season, you got talking about your assistants, it's a whole new crop. How is everybody working together? And it seems like everything's kind of clicked in.
I think the best thing about this year's staff is that everyone is just kind of allowing everyone to be who they are. No one's trying to do too much. Everybody's kind of, we're getting along, we're conversating, we're talking about every single thing, offensively and defensively. We're more engaged with the team earlier in the season, so it's been a great mix.
We know Coach Hayden, Coach Phillips are pretty defensive-minded guys.
Mhm.
What is Coach Pullman bring to
He's more of the energy guy. He's more of the positive, energy guy that understands that, not only is it a physical game, but it's a mental game. He comes from more of the mental side. Playing at Duke as a walk-on, he's been through all those battles with those guys and understanding, what the battles mean. So he's coming more from a mental side.
Kind of a weird question, but Ayla just said that if you want to call it adversity or if you want to call it from last game, he said that kind of showed your locker room, who's going to fight for who has who's back. Is that the way you see it? Like some of that stuff, did it bring the team together more?
I think it does because at the end of the day, we're family, and you have to have your brothers back at all times. And this team is showing that. Like I said, this is my 5th year, and this is the closest knit team that I've had. So it's a good thing to see.
He didn't have a lot of pressure on him physically at the last game. How close is he and the rest of the team getting to be fully healthy?
They're getting close. I think that he's starting to feel a lot better. DeAndre is feeling a lot better. I mean, you still have Malcolm with the knee. Alo's starting to feel better, so it's nowhere near where it was when we went to Vandy. It was bad, and now it's getting much better.
How does Kendrick kind of handle this slump, whatever you want to call it, the past 2 games? What's his mindset? What's his confidence level now?
His mindset is always been aggressive. I think that it's frustrating to him that he hasn't really gotten over the hump with some things, and that's just his competitive nature. But I'm not worried about him at all. He has a huge heart, and he's gonna figure it out. No update right now. We're hoping to figure something out before we leave, hopefully. Waiting. The chatter was last week, and now it's in the NCAA's hands. NCAA's hands to vote. We're waiting on the vote.
But they haven't sent an email saying it could come before you leave for Auburn.
No, they haven't given us an actual day.
What scares you the most about this Auburn team, other than their philosophy and their history of playing the Bruce Pearl system?
It's transition. They're really good in transition. Another thing, they overplay the passing lanes. We have to be patient. They're going to get out in the passing lanes and play very aggressive. So those 2 things, worry me a little bit. If we're patient and we get back in transition, we can have some success in some areas.
I asked Malcolm earlier about free throw. Seems like that's getting better so far this season. Is that another product, byproduct of the older, more mature team that we have? They maybe sort of understand the importance a little bit more than the young guys.
I think so, and then we're working on them more. I mean, even though we worked on them previously, the younger guys, man, when you get into the arenas and the backdrop, of the arena kind of bothers them. So the veterans have been through this. So I think that does have something to do with these veterans, going into their 5th year. They're used to that now.
This has been probably one of the widest 5-game winning streak I think in Memphis history. Is this more like a business-like mentality? You play the game, you pack it up, and just go for it, that one day at a time mentality?
I think that that's how we're approaching it, because there wasn't the 5-star power where everybody was saying this is supposed to happen, so no one knew what was going to happen. And with seeing how we played, it's kind of shocked some people. But for us, we're just kind of, going about our way and trying to make every game 1-0. We're not looking past anybody. We're doing our work, and we're just going in and fighting and scrapping, man. And like you said, it has been the quietest 5-0, but that's the way we want it.
Is there anything, any parallels to draw from this, going into the game against Alabama last year, where we thought, just come here, you guys, this time. And I know that you went into that game on a 4-8 losing streak,
Mhm.
winning streak this time. But is there any sort of parallels that can be drawn,
You talking about from Auburn or Alabama?
like from Alabama, going into Alabama game last season?
Yep.
going into Auburn game?
I mean, they're undefeated. Auburn is. They're undefeated, and, they're going to be the favorite. And, Alabama was the favorite, and they had just come off beating Houston and Gonzaga. So there are some parallels to that we know that we're going to go into a tough game with a team that's undefeated, that's nasty ranked.
Do you expect it to be a pretty low-scoring game? Or
I'm not sure. I just hope we're on the other side of it, on the positive side of it. That's all I hope for. With 2 great defensive teams, then, I don't know if it's going to be a high-scoring game. Thanks. Thank you.